everybody. Today Charlene and I are going to run through some exercises that we see in the gym that are commonly done incorrectly. So we are going to run through and show you the correct form and hope that you can take away some good tips from this, and when we get back into the gym, you're able to apply them to your workout. So this is our leg extension machine. Charlene is going to demonstrate a leg extension, but before she gets started, I wanted to take note to her seat placement. So notice that the seat is right behind the bend of her knee, at the back of her knee. That is exactly the support that she needs to perform this exercise. You can change your range of motion also by this style if you have limited range of motion. The higher you go up, the less your legs are behind you. All right, Charlene.
Stop.
Good. Again, notice that she is controlling the weight up and down. The common mistake that can be made on here is people swinging the weight forward and just letting it drop. Again, be in control. You be the boss of that weight. If the weight is too high, lower it. If you feel like you're coming out of your chair, lower the weight. You want to feel, you're going to feel the burn. Charlene, can you show us with point to where you feel that burn? Quads and around the knee is where you should feel that the tension. So she's in control of the weight. Her feet, notice her feet are flexed, and her back support is supported by the mat. She's not arching off of the mat. And there's a hand grip if you need that extra support. So Charlene is demonstrating a lunge, a weighted lunge to be exact. You can do this with or without weight. But in our example here with the weight, the one thing I want you to take note to is if you are doing a weighted lunge is that you keep that weight and with your shoulders in neutral position. Don't let the weight pull you forward. Sometimes if you've go up too heavy, some people tend to lean forward. Notice how perfectly straight her back is and her shoulders are back. Also notice her feet position. Her toes are facing forward, back and front. You don't want your toes to be pointing in any other direction but forward position. Notice also she's a little bit wider stance than your normal average walking stance. So get into that comfortable position where it feels comfortable for you, okay? And see how her toes are facing towards me. The other thing too to take note is that her knee, her front knee that is not going past her toe. If your knee is going past your toe, then you're putting unnecessary stress and strain on your knee. Thank you, Charlene. Now just make sure you repeat on the other side. All right, so Charlene is demonstrating a front loaded squat. So first, take note to her feet position. They're about shoulder width apart, maybe slightly wider toes or slightly out. That's a good position to be in. You don't want your toes to be too far out. You don't want them to be exactly straight ahead, so she has a nice slight angle to her feet. Also notice, since she has that weight in the front and holding it up, she's in control of the weight. Her back is staying straight. And the other thing is that notice as she comes down, perfect. You want to act as though there is a chair behind you. Notice her knees are not going over the toes. Again, similar to the lunge, you want your knees to go you do not want your knees to go past your toes. So have a chair, invisible chair in mind as you're doing the front weighted squat. For modifications, you can do a wall sit. All right, so Charlene is demonstrating a deadlift. The key things I want you to take note to are first, let's look at her upper body. Notice her head. She's got her head facing forward. Her shoulders are relaxed. She's not pulling that weight up, or we have a tendency to see people try to pull the weight or be in control of the upper body. The weight is just leading her arms. The weight is leading her arms. The work is coming in that lower body. Okay, notice her back is nice and straight. And as she comes up, she's squeezing the glutes together. All right, you don't want to swing too far forward because then you're going to get into some lower back issues. And Charlene, being a lower back sufferer, knows this too well.
Yes.
And notice too that her knees have a slight bend. Don't lock the knees. There's a slight bend in her knees. So this is a great form. Notice that straight back. That's a good deadlift. All right, here Charlene is in a low plank position. Notice that her shoulders and elbows are in perfect alignment. That is what you want. You don't want your elbows to be in front or behind your shoulders. You want them to be in a perfect line. Look at her head and neck. You don't want your head to be dropping and looking at your toes, nor do you want to be looking up. You want it to be a neutral spine. Keep the core nice and tight and squeeze your glutes. You need to activate your glutes in this group. Charlene, can you get up on your hand and show them a high plank? All right, same thing. Charlene, if you can rock forward a little bit, get the hands right under the shoulders. That's perfect. Again, you want your elbows, your shoulders and hands to be in a line. Look how perfectly straight her back is. Her head is in a neutral spine and her glutes are still activated. Her core is tight. And don't forget to breathe. And now we'll show a modified version, and it's simply dropping to your knees, keeping everything else in line as mentioned. Perfect. Thank you, Charlene. All right, Charlene is demonstrating the bicycle. This is, those that know me know this is one of my favorite ab workouts, and I make you do it every time because it gets everything. What I want you to take note to is starting with her hand position and her head. Notice she is not pulling herself up. She's using her core to do the work, okay? She's breathing, and her chin is not on her chest, all right? And notice that she is coming up to her knee. She is not bringing the knee to her. She is working this. And also look at your leg position. The higher you are, the less resistance. The lower you are, the harder it is. And if you have back issues, just make sure you raise your legs. Make sure the mat stays perfectly flat on the mat as you're doing this. Perfect. This is a modified version. If it gets too much, this is what you do. Great job, Charlene.
Thank you.